This is the Jocko Underground Podcast, number 181, sitting here with Echo Charles. We've got a series of questions from you all, which we will provide answers or courses of actions or recommendations. Let's get into it.
Jocko. I work for a web publishing company that just laid off 12% of the staff, including growing segments while protecting declining ones. Leadership only gave a vague email and slashed freelance budgets despite strong ROI and won't address the questions. Our financial reports show revenue up, costs flat, and cash strong. Yet concerns are dismissed, leaving me worried about both my job and the company's future. Should I move on, push for answers, or just keep my head down? Thank you.
Should I move on, push for answers, or just keep my head down? The answer is yes. You should do all three of those things. You should keep your head down. What does that mean? You should work hard, perform well, try and help the company win. Like, you should do that for sure. At the same time, you should also push for answers. Try and figure out what's happening. Ask some earnest questions, bring it up the chain of command and the all hands. Maybe send an email to your direct superior. Ask him what's happening. Ask if you get some more information. Ask some direct questions about, like, hey, where are we at with this and what's going on with that? And don't accuse them. Just say, hey, look, I want to be able to support the mission here. I'm wondering if we could find out why this budget got cut. And then while you're doing that, you should also, yes, prepare your resume and have an exit strategy. You know, reach out to some of those relationships that you have in the industry. Talk to them. Hey, how is everything going over there? You know, what positions do you guys have coming available? Hey, you just keep things on the ready, because these are not good signs that we're seeing. But there is a chance that, you know, they're going to get a major investor that's going to come in and they want them to focus on this other thing. And so they're getting rid of some of the other stuff. Like, there's a possibility that everything's cool, but we don't know yet. So I would do all three of those things. I would work hard, perform well, try and help the company win. I would ask earnest questions and try and figure out what the hell's going on. And I would prepare my resume that if we need to leave, and I would form some relationships with some other companies. So I'd have an exit strategy. That's what I do.
You watched the movie Office Space?
Of course.
Classic, right?
Classic.
It kind of seems like that's what it, like a scenario, where they come in and they start making these changes or whatever. Efficiency experts, right? So basically, when this guy comes with that finds himself in that interview, where he's like, "What is it you'd say?" You do here. That's when you know it right there. You know me. I don't know. All right. Next question. Jocko, I'm 24. Always wanted to join the military, but family discouraged me. So I studied engineering. The job is soul sucking, and I know Army Special Forces would make sense. I'm active, outdoorsy. I love languages and history, but my PT stats lag despite constant training. I'm tall and lean, like Israel Adesanya.
Damn. Okay.
Okay. All right. Strong in rucking and grappling, but struggle with push-ups, pull-ups, and high-volume work. My question: what kinds of guys succeed in special operations? Do I need to drop everything and just train PST numbers, or have you seen guys struggle with stats but still make it?
Well, quite frankly, unless you can pass the PSD with authority, you won't be going to selection. So I don't know what you really mean by struggle with push-ups, pull-ups. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, by struggle, do you mean you can only do 20 pull-ups and that's kind of a struggle? Or by struggle, do you mean you can do 3? By struggle, do you mean you can do, like, it's hard for you to get 100 push-ups in 2 minutes? Or by struggle, do you mean you can only do 22 push-ups? You see what I'm saying? There's a big difference there. And if you can't do the numbers, you can't go to selection. So yes, if you want to go to selection, you got to focus on the numbers. You got to train them. And by the way, the better that you do with the numbers, the better chance you have of making it through selection. So special forces, push-ups, minimum standard, 49 in 2 minutes. It's minimum standard. Recommended is 80. So if you're having trouble getting 80, you know what? But you're doing 72, or you're doing 68. So you're beating the minimum standard. Cool. Minimum standard for sit-ups, 59 in 2 minutes. Recommended is 80 plus, the same thing. Pull-ups, minimum standard is 6. Recommended is 15 to 20. So can you only do 7 pull-ups? If you're doing 7 pull-ups, that's a problem. You got to get your numbers up. You can go down the list. It sounds like you're a good runner. Sounds like you can ruck well, so that's cool. So to answer your question, what kind of guys succeed in SOF? They're going to be able to do a lot of pull-ups, push-ups. They're going to be able to run, ruck. Like, you got to be good at stuff. You can have some areas where you're weaker, but you can't have areas that are weak, period. So, yes, you have to focus on it. Yes, you have to train it. And the better your numbers are, the better chance you have of making it through training. So, it's the same thing with SEAL training. Like, single biggest identifier of people that are going to make it through is like their run time and swim time. Like, just be doing, I think it's sub 9s. Sub 9 swim and sub 9 run for, what is it, a mile and a half in the run and 500 yard swim. If those things are sub 9, you got like a much better chance of making it through. And I think pull-ups they throw in there too. 20 to 25 pull-ups is like solid. You have a much better chance of making it through. If you can do 8 pull-ups, bro, you can have problems. Freaking rope climbs, obstacle course. How are you going to pass the obstacle course if you can't do more than freaking 15 or 20 pull-ups? Or if you can't do at least 50 to 20 pull-ups, you ain't going to pass it. So it's the same thing here. That's what you got to do. You got to get good at this stuff. And it's weird because he says, despite working on it, right? Despite constant training. So you got to get your training in order. Because if you're training hard in pull-ups, you will get better at pull-ups. You do a lot of pull-ups, you'll get to do more pull-ups. You do a lot of push-ups, you get to better at push-ups. So if I were you, if you want to make it through this training, you got to do well in the PST. I would start training a bunch of pull-ups, a bunch of push-ups, sit-ups, rope climbs, lunges, squats, burpees. That is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms so we are not subject to their control. And we are doing this so that we can support the Jocko podcast, which will remain as is, free for all, as long as we can keep it that way. But we are doing this so we don't have to be under the control of sponsors. And we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us. And to do that, we're building a website right now where we'll be able to utilize to strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's jockounderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@jockounderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.